All right, people, welcome back to our Mitre-Attack series here. This is the last video in the remote services technique. And today we are going to cover direct cloud virtual machine connections. So what does that mean? So usually you interact with the cloud within a sandbox or within a container. And that container is running an operating system as a virtual machine, but you don't directly interact with the cloud virtual machine, so that machine where all of the containers are running. And this is what is covered here. So whenever there is an access directly to your virtual machine, that stuff is highly suspicious, especially if it is coming from an account that you would not expect to do these things. So as you can see, platforms here, infrastructure as a service. This use case is highly relevant for all companies that are running these virtual machines themselves. So if you are just buying a service from Google or Microsoft, well, you don't have access to that machine anyways. The administrators of the provider of the cloud service, they do that. And I think this technique here is very relevant for these cloud providers. So they should monitor tightly who has native access to the cloud environment there. And yeah, so this is what it is. And you have their cloud APIs. You have Azure, Serial Console, AWS, and you have all of these things that you might want to monitor. And then also the authentication to these systems often happens without multi-factor authentication. It's just a password. And here they say access token, SSH keys. So you gotta protect these things a little more. And then adversaries may utilize these cloud-native methods to directly access virtual infrastructure and pivot through an environment. And yeah, that's exactly what it is. Once you can access your infrastructure, you can compromise quite a lot. You can cause a lot of damage by that. Let's take a look at the mitigations and detection strategies so they all fit on one screen. So mitigation, they say remove or disable that feature. So if you know that direct virtual machine connections are not used often or only used with certain accounts, then you might disable that feature, and also user account management, limit the users that are allowed to do that. In this case, I would add maybe jump hosts to the whole thing, and just be aware that adversaries may want to have that connection as well, so they might want to target that. And with that in mind, you can have a little bit of more of a protection idea, and yeah, reduce also the convenience for your administrators. That's what it comes down to, reducing convenience. And your admins won't like that. But this is sometimes something you want to do. So you need to say, okay, you need this very special account, you need to jump host, you need to have more inconvenient but more secure login mechanisms. So that's what you gotta keep in mind here. And detection strategy, they say direct login to cloud hosted virtual machines via cloud native access methods. Yeah, so you just monitor for these things here. EC2 Instance Connect, Azure Serial Console, SSM. I'm not an admin myself, I've never used any of these tools, but detecting the usage of them, that's very well possible without any deeper knowledge of these tools themselves. That's what we usually do in the cyber defense field. We just need to know that stuff has been used, and that's it. What I just realized is that there are so this technique that has been claimed by Tana Bodhi Prakun, that's a contributor here, they did not add a page where they show us examples of adversaries using that. So they might want to add that here. So Also, the amount of references is a bit thin on the first side. They have Microsoft AWS. At the end here you have Mandiant, SIM swapping and abuse of the Microsoft Azure Serial Console. Serial is part of the well-balanced attack. So they are writing here about the well-balanced attack. They should be adding it then to a procedures tab as well. But that's just a minor complaint. It doesn't matter too much for you people. It's just important that you are aware of this technique, that a direct cloud virtual machine connection, this is something that we need to take care of as well. And because we easily get lost in the details of protecting the cloud service itself, but when it comes to the infrastructure that is running all of your cloud machines, that might be forgotten. So with the knowledge of that technique, you will not forget that and you will take care of it. And that's the value of this MITRE technique, and hopefully the value after watching a video like this. So, all right, people, then. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time on cybersecurity. It is time well spent. And see you in the next video then. Goodbye.